night was crazy for boxing fans. 54-year-old Mike Tyson, 51-year-old Roy Jones fought an 8-round exhibition fight that was deemed a draw after Tyson destroyed Jones's midsection. Age ain't nothing but a number, but everyone is still talking about a former NBA star. Nate Robinson got knocked out by YouTube star Jake Paul in the second round. And when I say knocked out, I mean knocked out cold. Stephen A., what do you think was the bigger story? Was it Tyson Jones, or was it the fact that we saw Nate Robinson get KO'd?
I think it was Nate Robinson getting put to sleep. And when I say sleep, I mean sleep. I'm talking about out, not moving, completely out cold. Max, I don't know if it was smelling salts or something that they used, but he was on that canvas, I counted, for at least 2 to 3 minutes. And when he sat up, they put the stool near him, and he couldn't even gather himself together to get up on the stool. This brother was put to sleep in a way that you only see that happen to people that take Ambien. It was that bad. And you know, I'm not going to be like other people in the NBA where folks were joking around. I thought he was really, really hurt. I was scared for him when he didn't move, and he got KO'd like that. And it was just something sad to see. Jake Paul clearly had more experience, clearly had more skill. He was the bigger, heavier fighter on top of that. Plus, he was the better boxer. And literally, Nate came in with his face. And so I thank God he's all right. And major props to him for, joining the chat room. I heard he joined the chat room and was just taking the criticism like a man. I got a lot of love for the kid. Ain't nothing to laugh about. It was scary, to be quite honest with you. And it just goes to show what Snoop Dogg and all of them was saying, because I thought Snoop Dogg was absolutely fabulous calling the fight. He said, you don't play, and you know this better than me, Max. You don't play boxing. You don't play boxing when you get in that ring. You either know what you're doing or you stay the hell out of there.
Nate is super athletic and scrappy, but a lot of people who fight and think if they fought in the street and they had any success there, or fought in a locker room or wherever, that they're going to get in a boxing ring without being trained. No, Jake Paul had muscle memory because Jake Paul is taking his fighting seriously over the last couple of years and is really putting in the work, and it's showing. His muscle memory is just better than Nate's was, right? And so, okay, that's what happens in boxing. The biggest story was Mike Tyson and Roy Jones. That was the best version of what that fight could have been. They came in shape, Tyson especially. And the funny thing is about Roy, Stephen A., is at his best, he was a better pound-for-pound fighter than Mike, even though Mike at his best, probably the best pound-for-pound in the world too. But Roy was best pound-for-pound for almost like a decade. He was amazing. At his best, he's the best I've seen in my lifetime. But his style was based on an overwhelming speed advantage. Mike Tyson's style was based on overcoming a big height deficit and reach deficit as a heavyweight. So while Jones was considered the quote-unquote boxer in this fight, no, Jones is the athlete who needs to start feeling it, fight off a rhythm to get going. Mike is the more technical fighter, always was, and he showed it in this fight. But right around the third or fourth round, it's like, damn, Roy's got nothing for Mike. Mike is too strong. Roy even said it after the fight. You saw those body shots really hurting Roy. And I saw a look in Roy's face, and Roy is a friend of mine, like a genuine friend of mine, and I worked with him for years. And so, I'm like, Roy, don't go out like this, and I don't want to see him get hurt. And Stephen A., it looked to me, he was huffing and puffing, feeling the body shots. It looked to me like Roy said, hell no, I'm not going out like this, and rejuvenated himself and made it a fight. Whether or not it was a draw, it's something else, but Roy made it competitive. He refused to just get run over. And because of that, and because no one got hurt, I was highly entertained in the end. I thought that was the best version of what that fight might have been, and I wouldn't mind seeing Mike do it again, provided you match him right. Another old guy, another small guy, not a big young guy.
I was very relieved that Roy didn't get hurt because it's not, listen, Tyson obviously isn't what he's 54 years old. And you know what? It was good to see him in the shape that he was in. Obviously, he's 54 years old, so you weren't going to see the same Mike. But I was scared for Roy's life because of how I'd seen Roy get knocked out in previous years. So I'm thinking there's some damage there. And if he gets caught right, it could be, Nate Robinson. Well, it turns out that did not happen to Roy. So I was very, very relieved about that. But
And Roy got caught a couple
if
times,
Nate
Stephen
had
A.
just got, but I know that. But if he had just gotten hurt, Max, and wobbled, I'm talking about Nate Robinson here. If he had just got hurt, wobbled, TKO, that would be different. But to go out the way he went out, listen, that's what everybody's talking about because of the way he went out. I mean, literally, it's very, very rare that you see somebody literally put to sleep. And that's what happened.
If you get in the ring, it's a brave thing because especially on TV and you're a famous person, you might get put to sleep, snoring and everything out. That's the risk you take in boxing. And by the way, worse things than that can happen. But that's why it requires bravery, right? Courage. Nate was brave and courageous and maybe crazy because he was not prepared for a guy who was really taking fighting seriously the last couple of years.
But Max, what I'm saying is in hindsight, I totally get you. But for those 2 minutes that he was laying there, not moving, were you not scared? I was.
Yeah, and he also, the first knockdown, he was caught kind of behind the ear in the back of the head. It's a dangerous shot.
Yeah, no question. I was just grateful to have something good to watch Saturday night. Not getting out the house much lately. None of us are. We will leave it there when we come back here. We're finally going to... Yes, that